Hi, my name's Steven. I'm from the Twin Cities in Minnesota. I got a tall fescue grass and thinking of doing overseeding this upcoming fall. And my question is around after doing the aeration, doing the starter fert, um, dropping some normal fertilizer, and then the seed. Should you put topsoil over the top of that if you're overseeding, or is that only necessary for bare spots? Hearing more on the podcast. Thanks.
All right. So Steven broke up a little bit, but he's basically asking, hey, after I do my overseeding there in Minnesota, is there anything I should put over it, over top of it? So the one thing I do still recommend if you're going to do an overseeding is that you do aeration because of all the holes that you poke, and I recommend that you go over it 3-4 times, poke as many holes as you can. But I realize now over the years that a good majority of you can't do that, or you won't do that. You're not going to rent an aerator because you don't have the truck to get it home in, or you don't have the truck to pull the trailer, or you just don't have the time. I get it. So in this case, if you're and even if you are going to aerate, but you're going to seed, your seed will be fine. Overseed the lawn, okay? And then after that, you do want to use some sort of a covering, especially in the larger bare spots. And there's two reasons for that. The first reason, or three really, the first reason is it helps retain moisture. The second thing is it helps to simulate seed to soil contact. And the third is it'll keep it from washing away. That's the three reasons why you want to use some sort of a covering, especially in the larger bare areas. Now, if you aerate, that helps because that's stirring things up. That's bringing some topsoil up. That's going to, some stuff goes down in the holes. The cores stay up there. That helps to hold the seed in place. But even then, I recommend some covering. Now, there's two kind of coverings I recommend. The first is peat moss. It's the cheapest and easiest to get, and it's clean. However, peat moss can wash away too. If you've ever used peat moss as a covering, you'll notice in a real heavy rainstorm, it'll just get washed away too. It's fairly light. But the good news with peat moss is if you get it too heavy, it won't choke the seed out because it is so light. So there's some good stuff there. It also is an excellent soil amendment. So peat moss is one of those things that you can use, but the best thing to use is there's this stuff called Greenview Seed Starter. You could also get Scott's Patchmaster, which already has seed in it, but both of those are very similar. The Greenview Seed Starter, you can get it on Amazon. It's pellets, but it's essentially recycled paper that's in pellet form, and then when it gets wet, it spreads out and it gets sticky. And I think the Greenview even has some starter fertilizer in it. I still recommend you use your own on top of it because what they put in there isn't enough. The Scott's Patchmaster is more already comes fluffy. It looks like the stuffing from a pillow kind of, and it's got seed in it. But the idea is you put that out thin, very thin, super thin, thinner than you think, and when it gets wet, it expands, and it's very sticky. And I have never found anything better to hold seed in, to hold in moisture, and simulate seed to soil contact. Scott's Patchmaster works awesome. It was my secret back in the day when we used to burn lawns at True Green, and we didn't burn that many, but when we did burn them, I was the guy that always went out and fixed things, and that's the exact procedure I would use. Heavy aeration, overseed, Scott's Patchmaster, every single time. And even though the Patchmaster has seed in it, I always supplemented with my own. So that's what I recommend there, Stephen. Definitely have some sort of covering somewhere just to help hold things in, keep it sticky, and help you retain moisture.